Hey, this is Dan Blewett. Today it's the 3-month anniversary of my new elbow, so in honor we're going to do something a little less boring and talk about all the grip tools that we use here in my facility. So this is at the end of our turf runway, and we have a couple mats, and you can see there's chalk everywhere, and this is where our grip station is. So we're just going to go through some of the tools. Here's our box. Here's our favorite device off the bat. These are the farmer's walk handles. They allow you to really load not just your grip, but your whole upper back, your legs, your whole body. These can really pack on some size. So the older guys can go pretty heavy on these, and you can hold a lot more weight with the angle that you carry these at rather than a dumbbell. Dumbbells kind of sit out here because of the big heads. With these, you can easily go 50 pounds heavier than you could with dumbbells. So these are pretty integral. Obviously, we put bumper plates to not ruin the floor, and it allows us to use the right height with younger guys as well. The core of our system is sort of founded on our kettlebells right here. So what we do, we have all these different implements. So a bunch of these are from Sornex. This is a hub gripper, so you hold this like that. We have these are called the grandfather clock handles, hold like that. We have pinch blocks. This is a 3-inch one. We have our 2-incher right here, pinch there. You can crimp, do a lot of different things with that. But the way we hook these up, and it's sort of infinitely adjustable, is we have climbing carabiners everywhere. Take a carabiner, take a climbing strap. These are like 50 cents a foot. I've made a ton of these, just tied them. So we're going to loop this under the kettlebell, clip it with the carabiner, and then we can add it to any device we choose. And then we have a bunch of 2.5 pound plates. So if we want to just incrementally load it, so 18 pounds isn't quite enough, but 25 isn't, or is too much, we can just string on 2.5 pound plates and then adjust and go. So that's sort of our system. And right now, most of our grip work is done in a farmer's carry sort of way, which is just having something heavy and or awkward in our hands and just walking for time or just standing for time until it drops. So those are a couple. If you come over here and follow me, we're looking more to the grip tub. We've got the 4-inch grenade balls. We've got a pair of those. We've got the 2-inch grenade balls. You have these a lot longer. Obviously, they're covered in chalk. We've got the fat grips, which are about 2¼ inches. Put those over a dumbbell handle. I like these because they're a little bit harder than the Tyler grips, but the Tyler grips I really like the shape of. They're especially good for the younger kids who they can, the fat grips might be a little bit thick. They can choose this side or this side. Obviously, you want to hold it with a cut. Those are the Tyler grips. Those are real cool. We have Grip Force, which the same sort of principle, but you actually have to actively squeeze these on, so it gives you some tension, which is one of the things climbers warn you against. It's not over gripping on the wall, but when you're doing it in training, it's got some pretty positive effects. We've got the vice gripper. This thing is sort of infinitely adjustable by just adjusting, sliding these up and down. We've got the Iron Mind 2-finger utility grippers, which I've been doing rehab with. We've got the number 2 gripper, which I don't do too much with my surgical arm right now because this thing is pretty difficult to close. We've got a couple different homemade wrist rollers, thin version, just strap it around. Here's a slightly thicker version. Made this for like $5. No point in buying one, to be honest with you. Just string it with whatever weight we want. We've got the Metolius wood grips, which are pretty cool. We do a lot of chin-ups off of these. You can hold them a couple different ways. And then we've got the Metolius rock rings, which I love to death. You got 4 different grip options on this one, like that. We can also string them up and do farmer's carries with them as well. This is a pretty stressful spot. We don't do too much with the 2-finger. What else do we have? Super important is chalk. Obviously, it's everywhere. You can't get an effective grip workout without chalk. Obviously, commercial gyms don't really allow it because it's dirty. It is everywhere here. We do vacuum, but it's tough to keep up. What else? Lastly, we've butchered up a bar. So this is the end sleeves of a bar cut in half, and we can use them in the same way. Just hold them like that. And we've got a couple different sledgehammers handles. This is called a Mojo. I do some pronation, supination work with this thing. Swirls and things like that with it. So this is sort of the system we do. Obviously, there's lots of other ways to do it. but in general, holding something heavy and or awkward is going to train your arm. You know, for me, being post-surgical right now, I can hold 20 pounds. That's where I've progressed too slowly. I can hold 20 pounds in one hand, so I've been starting to do some farmer's carries with some of this stuff with that 20 pounds. Obviously, I started back with 5, then 10, then 15, 18, 20. So I've worked my way up to where that's comfortable, doesn't bother me, but it's getting me a different way, just beyond the rehab a little bit of training my forearms, getting me some more stamina stuff. And then, of course, if you don't have access to some of this stuff, the most simple way, again, just looking for something heavy and or awkward, is the tops of dumbbells. It's a great way to do it. The blob hold is fantastic. What else? Oh, and then lastly, kettlebells are awesome to be flipped over. So if you don't have grenade balls, just take the kettlebell, flip it. You might damage the floor a little bit when you drop it, but you know, if you're quiet about it, just set it down. That can work too. So that's a pretty good, I guess, overview of what we do as far as grip training. We don't make it overly complicated right now during this part of the off season. We're just grabbing heavy and awkward stuff and just giving our hands a varied workout throughout the week.